librarian. I'm a media specialist. I'm going to collect the works of others. Sorry, I just am. If they are willing to share it with me, there is no reason I can't use that. Now, disclaimer, I would go in and check all of their links before sharing with my students and my parents, because you know what? I don't know everybody in Facebook world, and I don't want to get any surprises. So, but that's what I did all summer long, is people post fascinating Dogman libraries or Captain Underpants and things like that. I have saved those slideshows, and so I'm literally collecting and making my students a virtual library through Bitmoji. How cool is that? Like, to me, that's just fascinating. So let's go to the slideshow. In the slideshow that I shared with you, we're going to answer these questions. We're going to talk about why are they beneficial, what is a Bitmoji room, what's it look like, and how do I even get started, okay? So here we go. All right, the elephant in the room is, why do we even want to do this? Well, number one, you can give awards out this way. So no more printing hundreds of certificates. Nope, you don't even have to do that. Give them a virtual certificate with Bitmoji and you're good. You can do point trackers. I went to Kentucky Go Digital Live this past week, this same week. So hopefully you guys were there and got a lot of good information, great information. Erica Brooks, she shared samples of point trackers and certificates, and these are links, okay? So giving credit where credit is due. I did not make those. Okay, they're also engaging, they're accessible, they differentiate, okay? They put the fun back into teaching for all of us and for our students. Now, dun, 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 here's your examples. These are the ones that are going to drive you nuts when you click on them, because they are going to ask you to make a copy. And I did that on purpose because you might open one and just fall in love with it. And next thing I know, I'm using that same file, and all of a sudden my stuff has all been moved around. So I'm going to just open up a couple of my favorites. So right here we have a Spanish library. See, it asked me to make a copy. So it's going to ask you guys this too. And you want it to make a copy because you don't have to start from scratch this way if you don't want to. I've got the spinning wheel up here, so just be patient. Oh, sorry. It's taking a few minutes. All right, we're going to go back to my library in my drive and see if it pulls it up real quick. Here we go. Ding, ding. Okay, so she took the time to, look at that. She's even got sound. Okay. She took the time to take books that are related to Hispanic heritage, which, by the way, is in October. So you could take any of these books, like one book a week if you wanted, or a couple of books a week, and you could click on it. And she has you go to Safe YouTube, where they can hear the story read out loud to them. Okay? So that is just, you know, that's a great resource for our students. So now going back to my slideshow, that was the example of a Latinx, Spanish, Hispanic heritage library. But we could do one for our counselors. We could do a school administrator newsletter, okay, where it's just one slide and you click on the objects, and maybe you do a staff shout out. Maybe you do a student shout out, student of the month this way. Okay, this is a counselor room. She put it together for the zones of regulation. Are you in the blue zone? Are you in the red? Are you green, like happy-go-lucky? Okay, and then she put little movies. Hopefully you guys are all in the green zone right now. You're happy, you're feeling good, you're calm. We're all in our great place. All right, so if you have a school counselor who's into Bitmoji, you could show her this example This is something she could go ahead and start using and do a Google Meet to talk with those kids who maybe need some help with regulation and regulating themselves and things like that. You could go on virtual field trips. Okay, see, for me, that's not a good thing. For you guys, it is a good thing. For me, I'm going to go to my library. Okay, so this one's pretty simple. What they did is they created pictures of things about Washington, D.C. They took landmarks, and each of those images they created a link for. Okay, so this talks about the Cherry Blossom Festival that's there. She can send them to the White House. Okay, so you could use these for a variety of reasons. Right? So this is what emoji classrooms look like. All right. Okay, talk about middle school, right? So middle school, here's your different books. The New Kid. Libraries are for everyone. We've got Black Lives Matter. So like you can take images from all over the internet and make it appropriate to your age level and your students. Make your students comfortable. Okay. Now I will say this, guys. If you look in the right-hand corner of my screen right now, that's my personal email account that it downloaded to. So what I've had to do when creating my presentation or saving these for school, I had to make sure to share it with my work email and then make another copy that way. So just throwing that disclaimer out there to you. All right. So I think we've covered the what. We've got social emotional. We've got different book studies, indigenous. I've slaughtered that word. Sorry. We've got high school English. I will show that. Might be easier to pull it up another way. Okay, so she is like a pro, okay? This is what I would call a little more advanced because she's got it looking like an app, and you can go to your Zoom meeting norms, your hall pass, things like that, your literature composition, and she's linking all of these pictures and things, okay? So literally, this is a tool that if you take the time to learn it, you can share in this new innovation, I guess you could say, with your students all the way from preschool to high school. So, go back. All right, before it's your turn, which is coming up because I'm watching my time. All right, this is the page you want. The first page I showed you has examples. You can borrow those if you want and make your own copies. That is not a big deal. If there's something that's not listed there that you want, ask me. I am willing to check my Bitmoji library. Also, go ahead, if you are at home, get on Facebook, get in that group and do a group search because I'm telling you, there are some phenomenal educators that are sharing their information with everybody. And so I literally, to give you guys resources and whatnot, I have been gathering from Bitmoji for Educators, which is a Facebook group, along with another Facebook group called Teaching with Neons. And it's the same topic. I can't talk. All right. So now each of these links, well, if I could control my mouse better. Hold on one moment. Each one of these links will take you to how-tos, okay? So if you already have your Bitmoji made and you're just ready to set up your slideshow because it's made with Google Slides, you can go ahead and start using this. It's a library of decor and backdrops. If you want to learn how to take a background out of the picture, go here. This Remove BG is so that you can upload a picture and you can take all the background out of it. And that way it looks like this, and then you can drag it and drop it into your slideshow. If you want to make your own If you want to make your own Bitmoji GIF, You would take your JPEG of your GIF, upload it here, and it will create one for you. And it will let you share a link to it and things like that. You could also download it if you wanted. Kind of a fun thing to have the kids make their own. All right, if you want to do attendance, okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way if I can. If you want to do this, you could create an attendance tracker. Now, this one is going to actually make a copy. It's a Google form, but you could literally have them as their answer. Maybe make it where they can add an image. Maybe you put your own Bitmoji in different places. Okay, but this one is for like a morning check-in. Like, how are you doing? Are you know, how you feeling? Happy, sleepy? And you can just kind of do a wellness check at the same time. But you could totally upload your Bitmoji to a Google form. The possibilities are endless. Now, if you are fairly new to this, like, I mean, I told you guys, I'm honest. I'm a librarian. I'm a collector. So this is going to be the link that you want, the one that says how to master list. Okay, look at this, guys. The ladies and the admins of the Bitmoji Craze group for educators, this is the link to their library of tutorials. All right, they have teaching ideas, Classroom Dojo, Schoolology, Google Classroom. They've got Snapchat. They have animated 3D Bitmojis, Google Forms, Google Sites, Google Computer specific. All right.
Amanda, yes. your presentation is not showing anymore.
Oh no. Okay, how long ago did it stop?
Just a second ago. I think you just clicked on stop presenting when you were clicking on something. So just pull it right back up.
Let's pull it back up. My bad. Oh, I see Anna asked for the link one more time. Oh, thank you, Shelly. All right, so can you guys see it now? Can somebody tell me if you can see it?
We can just see that you're presenting to everyone.
Okay, that's okay. But the camera's working now. All right. Yeah. What I did, guys, is on my slideshow, I went to the How to Master list, which gives you a Google Doc, which was created by the Bitmoji Craze Educators group on Facebook. They basically gave you a library of tutorials. So you could spend days and hours learning how to do Bitmoji. All right. They have their Bitmoji scene tutorials. They have how to make an image link to Google Slides, which is a big skill I feel like we should all know. So I'm going to show you how to do that, because even if you don't have a Bitmoji, that would be something fun to include. So I'm going to go over here to this slide. And let's say that this picture right here, I want to highlight it, and I go to insert and the word link. At that point, I could come back to my how-to link, and I can get a shareable link. I can go back to my slideshow and paste it, apply, okay? So now this picture is the link. And so the kids, when you have done your Loom or your Screencastify, however you're recording how-to videos so that you can introduce this to the kids, they're going to learn very quickly, hey, if I click on the picture, I'm going to get to go to a link. And they're exactly right. So then the creativity comes from, where am I going to put my links? Where are my lessons going to be, and how am I going to take these links and tie them into a lesson, an interactive lesson? So that's where the creativity for us as educators, I feel like, comes in. So now it is your turn. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to quit sharing, because I wanted you to know that there's a library of resources out here for you. And I would, let's see, I'm reading some of the notes, the questions. I want you to take some time to explore this. If you have questions, ask me. I'm here for you. I will try to help you the best I can. I may have to watch part of the video too, because like I said, I have been just kind of saving things and learning as I go, just like the rest of us. Miss Clark has pointed out, be careful if you're going to use Bitmoji with young kids. Like if you're going to have them make a Bitmoji, and you know, we've got our kids, they become readers earlier. If you go up here to the Bitmoji to get your picture in it, you got to be careful because sometimes my Bitmoji might have a potty mouth, right? So I will show you that real quick. Let me go to a new slide. So let's say that I want, let's just say that I'm going to use this little, could you do me a favor picture? What I'm doing is literally clicking it, dragging it, and dropping it. So that's how you get the pictures in there. But if I want this picture without all these words, what I would do is right click and then, hold on. Well, I was going to show you a different way. What I would do is I would put it into a Word file or to a Paint file, and I would save it as a JPEG. Let me see if I can show you how to do that real quick. So here's my Paint, okay? And I come back over here. I don't want to do this. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. And I'm going to drag it into Paint if it lets me. It may not let me drag and drop with this program. So what I would do is then I'm going to come back to Bitmoji and right click, copy image. Or I could have easily saved image as, okay? And then I could save it here and upload it. But since I already went through the trouble of opening Paint, I'm going to paste it, file, save as JPEG. Desktop, Bitmoji example. So then what you can do is this. You go back to the background app that I gave you. Remove background, BG. And I could upload an image or drop a file. Open it. Okay, and so this is it, right? Now I can do edit. I can do a preview. And then I can work with the program to get rid of those words. Okay. So, oops. We want to do some erasing. Okay, if you have a Cricut and you've ever uploaded pictures to your Cricut, this is a lot like that. You just want to be careful not to erase his or her Bitmoji hair and things like that. So that's how you would remove it, save it, and then drag and drop it in your slide later. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to give you guys time to explore, play around with it, ask questions, and we'll go from there. Okay. Stephanie, I see your question. Where are teachers sharing their virtual classrooms? They are sharing them inside their Google Classroom because, for one, copyright, okay? So a lot of the authors and writers of different books and illustrators during our pandemic and school closures, they came out and said, and their publishers too, you can use our material, you can read to your students. We want them to have access to our books. but you need to do it in a closed setting. So it's not a good idea to make a virtual Bitmoji library and just put it on your school webpage, because somebody will come down the road knocking and tell you you've broken copyright and plagiarized. So if you share it in a private setting, like your Google Classroom, in one of the videos that I included, it will tell you exactly, it has like 5 different ways to share your work. Let me see if I can find that for you. Yes. So I'm going to turn on my presentation one more time. Oh, Andrea, I see your comment. Good point. I will show that. So, Kim, if you hold tight, I will show you. Class Dojo is considered a closed setting, Miss Boone, so I think you're totally fine sharing things there. So in the slideshow, there's a link to how to share your virtual world, and it goes over, look at this, there's 5 different ways that women and men are doing this. There's a forced preview link, published to the web, and then download as a PDF, okay? Download as a JPEG, and then add the slide from Drive. And then it's like a 12-minute video, or 12 and a half minutes almost, and she goes over all the different pros and cons of each way of sharing. And then Miss Green pointed out, if you go to your Bitmoji extension and I type in sitting, I can see all the different ways my Bitmoji is sitting. And if I have a chair in my classroom, I can drag her and make her sit down in that chair, okay? But see, this is where you got to get careful, because if you have students that are younger than 12 or even 12 and up that are using the Bitmoji app too, you really don't want them to turn in a picture of her sitting on the toilet. Like, who wants that? I don't want that, right? So you just have to be selective about who you're asking to do what. Like personally, with my my plans for this, I plan on sharing a library with the students, and that's how they are gonna that's how they're gonna read books. Okay, if they're not using Kentucky Virtual Library, that's my little plug for the day. Kentucky Virtual Library, if they're not reading articles off of PBS and KET, then they can read books and have access to books through the virtual library in our Google Classroom. Julie says that she has been typing in random vocab words for her science slides. I believe that. Miss Boone, I love the libraries too. I am quite disturbed that I am not with my students handing out books left and right and doing my book tastings. We really live it up. We had a wonderful past school year with Hispanic Heritage and Black History Month, and we did a huge display on books that look like us and are us. And so I'm really excited that there's educators in these Facebook groups that share their work and share their material with us, because they are basically opening up the doors again to the library for our students, because you guys know our students lost not just us, but the books too, you know. And so this is a really cool, fun, interactive way to get books back into the hands of kids through a device. Rebecca, if you need help or you want any, I mean, we're both at an elementary school, but I will tell you my background is also middle school, so I'm going to throw that out there. I have been collecting libraries all summer long, because that's what we do, right? We collect resources for our teachers and our kids. So if there's a topic you're looking for and you can't find it when you do a search, maybe reach out to me, and if I have it, I'll share a copy. Sue, I have never tried it on an iPad. I am a Chromebook, Dell laptop person. So I would say it would probably be a whole lot easier with a stylus. That was a website. So I don't see why, if you can bring the website up on your iPad, I don't see why it wouldn't work. That's a good idea, Rebecca. Each grade, I was thinking like every month do a theme or a holiday. Like the sky is the limit. I mean, there's just so many, like so many different topics and avenues. You've got Henry and Mudge for the little kids, Dog Man, graphic novels, Black History Month, Black Pride. You've got the June Pride Month. I've seen a room on that before for maybe the counselor could use that. I don't know. There's so many different options. I've seen an autism library. So I will throw this out there. We have about 29 minutes, 30 minutes or so. We could end up spending all day in this Google Meet trying out different things. Is there a specific feature that you all want to try to learn together as a group? Oh, Cynthia, I understand. Sometimes it's so overwhelming. We have so much thrown at us that we have to do for our students that taking time to be creative is hard to squeeze in, and just knowing where to start. So I would start with the resources that are in your slideshow link today. If you have not signed in for your attendance to get your PD credit, use the link that Ms. Clark has posted just now. We'll throw that out there. Also, I would get on Facebook and I would make use of the educator group, and I would go to their file section and I would do a search on topics and things like that.
Well, I guess not anybody else has any other questions. That's pretty awesome. I think we hit like a record of 110 people in here at one time, Amanda. So that's awesome. And just evidence that the Bitmoji craze is definitely real right now. That's for sure. And something we can all get sucked into. Yeah. And I think it is important, as long as we understand that there's a lot of other things to do too, that I really like your idea of going on the Facebook group and seeing what other people have already created. It'll save you a lot of time trying to recreate something that's already done. So make sure everybody takes some time and look through things that are already finished that you can just kind of make a copy of and make your own. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. The group is all about sharing. If they don't want to share it with you, they won't post the link. But most of them get so excited about the work, They're like, here you go, guys, make your own copy, and they just post it. And so, I mean, I could probably say, oh, someone's sleeping. I could
Now,
probably use about 10 different libraries a day if I was really that hyper about it. But that would be too much too then, you know?
I know. I mean, I can already start making mine right now. I'm excited. It is it's something you could definitely get sucked into, but I'm glad a lot of people are interested in. I've seen a lot of cool ones made on Facebook this summer, so it'll definitely be something we need with the possibility of NTI.
Oh, definitely. I actually saw one of the posts and I saved it. So if any of you get to this level that you want to do this, there was a lady in the group yesterday. She made herself a square template and she lays 3 different post-it notes on it that are blank, and then she runs it through her printer and she prints Bitmoji post-its. And her plan is to put the Bitmojis on her students' work for like feedback and stuff like that, or personalized notes to colleagues and things like that. So she, when she posted it, she didn't post like a tutorial on how to do that, but I asked her and she got on my favorite screencast program is Loom. I know everybody used Screencastify, but before I ever learned that, I learned Loom, which is free all the time. And so she made me a loom that shows how to print your own Bitmoji post-it notes.
Megan just asked, where do we find those pre-made classrooms if we don't have Facebook? I think you put some links in your presentation, didn't you, Amanda?
Yes. So if you go, Megan, if you go to the link in my presentation, if you go to the 3rd slide, every one of these is a pre-made classroom and or library. Okay. So, or like this one right here was a field trip to Washington, D.C. So, oh, I really got to show you this one. I'm sorry. Let me go back to presentation mode, Megan. Okay. So Megan Hobbs, this is for you. Here we go. Sticker meal. That looks cool. I'm going to have to go to that. All right. So on the 3rd slide, all of these are examples. They will all ask you to make your own copy because if I'm using it, I don't want to come into it 3 days later and something's moved around. So you're going to think about those things and make your own copy. If you're not on Facebook, you can use these. If you need something, I'm seriously just a text message or email away. I will try to help you because that's what librarians do. But I wanted to show you guys this one. It is one of my favorites, and I can totally see this being middle school and high school. And also, I'm not going to lie, every time I see this, I think about Miss O'Daniel over at John Hardin because we are always talking about how do you find the truth in the noose and things like that. So check this out. They made a whole little newsroom. She even put her, whoever made this even put her dog in it. So if I was going to use this, I would swap out my Bitmoji and change things up a little bit. But look at that. I mean, I just love that background. And then you click on it and you're at the news show. And you can go to USA Today. I could go to BBC. So I really just thought it was awesome that she gave her students more than just Google. You know, she gave them access to current events through a variety of sources because that's something that maybe we were taught as students, but maybe our younger generation is just like, oh, it's not on Instagram or TikTok, so why do I need to know it? So I thought that was cool. Megan, if you're not on Facebook, I am not kidding you when I say that I have saved and I have my own little Bitmoji library collection. Look at all this. All right, so if there's something you're looking for, I mean, I've got a coding, welcome to coding camp. I've got direction drawing. I have discussing race with young children. Hidden Figures Room, the I Am book series. So if you can't get on Facebook to look it up, Teacher Pay Teachers is another one, and sometimes they're free there, or just reach out to one of us and maybe we can find you something.
And those of you who are still on, the 84 of you that are still on here, Brandy just posted the feedback link for today. This will be feedback for the entire summit, and it is anonymous. So she really, really, really would appreciate your feedback about today's session. So if you get a couple minutes, shouldn't take more than 2 minutes, go on there and fill that out for Miss New. And again, if you haven't signed in for this session, I'm going to put that link down there one more time. I know we're killing this link, but I just would hate for anybody to have participated today and not get your PD credit. That's so important to make sure you get that done. And a big shout out to Amanda for all her hard work and research on Bitmoji. And she's going to be on here for about another 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, if you have any other questions for her. Amanda, I am going to go ahead and stop that recording, though, just so we can.
That's a good idea.